Cause I got a peaceful, easy feeling. I know you won't let me down. Cause I'm already having breakfast with Bob.
Pancho Man, welcome again. Breakfast with Bob, St. George edition. My name is Bob Babbitt, and we are brought to you by Master Spas, Zions Bank, Quintana Roo, Form Smart Swim Goggles, Clash Endurance, Premium Plus Sports, and Challenged Athletes Foundation. Speaking of Quintana Roo, one of their athletes, Mr. Matt Hanson, joins us.
Good to be back.
How are you? And have you tried out that new bike yet?
I have. I've been on it since November last year.
What do you think?
I love it. It's good.
Fast.
Yeah,
huh?
definitely fast and a little bit more zippy through the corners and everything. So, yeah, it's good.
So you're coming off second at Challenge Puerto Veras.
That's correct.
Down in Chile.
It was cold? Yes.
Were you? I mean, I'm thinking Chile. It's got to be warm down there. No,
yeah. The southern hemisphere is coming into winter as we're coming out. So yeah, it was a little cooler than I anticipated, but it was a lot of fun. It was beautiful, absolutely beautiful down there.
So when you went out on a bike beforehand, at 32 degrees?
Yeah, they did this thing where they closed all of the roads and had police escort.
Yeah.
And I was the only idiot that showed up for it because it was so cold. So I had 4 police officers escorting me on through the course, but it was cold. They were out there, and I wanted to turn around the whole time because I was ready to be out of the cold. But I felt
obligated.
Yeah,
these guys all showed up. There was nobody else there. I better stick around for
exactly,
these guys.
Exactly.
That is really fun. So, Matt, how do you balance training and coaching and racing and?
Yeah, I mean, the coaching side of things is always something that helps me stop thinking about me, and I can focus that energy on somewhere else. So, like, when it comes, I try to keep things so my training, I just go through the motions, do exactly what I'm told, try not to overthink it.
And you don't coach yourself?
I don't. No, I've been working with Julie Dibens and Matt Bottrell for a number of years. Yep.
Yes.
And so, yeah, when it comes to the athlete side of things, my job is to execute the pay. We talk, we make a plan, and then my job is to execute the plan. And I don't want to be over-analyzing that. As long as things are going in the right direction, I trust the process that the coach. I mean, we've been together since 2016, and so they've earned that trust and brought me through a lot of good times. And so, I like to just go and execute my job as an athlete, and then use the analytical part of my brain as the coach and help other people be successful in that fashion.
So 5 Ironman wins and 5 70.3 wins in your career. But I look at probably the coolest race was when you at Challenge Daytona, the PTO championship, you get second place, you get $70,000.
Didn't suck.
That didn't suck. And it's funny because that was COVID time and there was nothing else happening.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden there's $70,000, which I'm sure was well needed in that year.
Absolutely. It was a tough year. We had to move to Colorado in that time as well. So it was, things got a little scary for a little bit, but it all worked out, and we're able to put together a good day when it mattered.
Exactly. And the rest of this is your race here, obviously. And what type of, is this type of race you come in and go, hey, if I'm top 10, that's great? Or you come in here feeling like, hey, I'm ready to win an Ironman world title?
I'm here to win a world championship.
Yeah.
Like, I've never hid that, that's my number one goal.
Right.
But my job on race day is to execute the game plan.
Right.
And, I think the way that it's drawn up, that puts me in the mix towards the end.
Right.
And, if it doesn't, and I can cross the finish line, and feel like I laid everything out there, didn't make mistakes, regardless of it's first or whatever, I'll leave happy.
Yes.
If I go out there and, scrape into the top 10, but left a lot on the table, I'll be upset. And so, obviously, the goal is the same goal that, everybody on the start line has. But it's not, I'm not, at some point I'll have to make a decision whether I'm going for it and we're willing to make that risk, because you can go for the win and end up 20th. And if that happens, that's always the risk you take, and, I can accept that. If I get 20th and had way too conservative of a plan and, left a lot out, then I'll be upset. So, I want to be here and win. I think I've got the tools to do so. But at the end of the day, I just have to go and execute a clean race.
This course is this is a strong person's race, a smart person's race, because there's going to be a lot of tactics. It's going to be maybe a little longer day. It was funny, we were talking to David McNamee. He goes, people are going to go sub-8, and people are going to run 2:35. I'm like, okay, that certainly is possible. You've been on the course. What do you think? It
really could be a fast day. It could be a brutal day. I was here for 2 weeks in early April training, and there was a couple days where there's going to be people who are walking on the bike because it was that windy, and some of the climbs get pretty nasty when you're doing it into a 30-mile-per-hour headwind. And then there was days where the wind would shift and you had a headwind up the wall and you just flew right up it. And so that's going to be another wrinkle is you have to have multiple game plans and kind of be ready to adjust on the fly because, in Kona, you pretty much know what to expect.
Right.
Here, early in the year, we don't know what the weather's going to give us, and, it'll be forecasted, but it'll change so fast. And so you kind of had to prep a little bit differently than you would for a normal world championship. That's been pretty much predictable in the past.
Well, and by the time you get to October, there's a track record for people throughout the season. You
right,
know
right.
Who's doing what, who's running well, who's dealing with injuries, et cetera. This is May.
Yep.
And early May. And a lot of people, the fact just getting to the starting line, right? It's like knock on wood, getting to the starting line, because it's been a war of attrition just getting here.
It has. I mean, you look at the times in the last 18 months, it's gotten so fast.
Yeah.
And so people are feeling that pressure a little bit and feeling the need to just push the envelope a little bit more to try to keep up, to give themselves a chance. And so, you're kind of running on the razor's edge. And, a lot of people get cut when they do that. And, fortunately, I've made it through clean. I got 2 more days of sitting in bubble wrap, I guess.
Yes.
But, yeah, I'm excited to get onto the start line healthy and in a good place with the build. So
I think when we were chatting, and I don't know if it was Clash Miami, it might have been Clash Miami or Clash Daytona. It was Daytona. And you were, was it after that you had got an injury, leg injury? Or
no, that was
before.
Before, yep.
Yeah, because you were coming in, not quite sure where you were
I had surgery in September.
And that was from get hit by a car?
No, well, yes, but no. I here in St. George for the 70.3 in May had a little bit of a bike wreck and dinged up my knee a little bit.
Okay.
And I fought with that all the way through the summer, trying to do the conservative route.
Right.
And about 2 weeks before the Collins Cup, I had a pretty big setback. So basically scheduled surgery for as soon as I got back from the Collins Cup.
Right.
And that kind of derailed the end of the season there.
That's right.
And was able to get back into a pretty decent form for Challenge Daytona. Was able to come back and end off the year on a decent note. Finished 4th there last year. So that kind of I used that as the springboard for the fitness leading into this race.
And when we were at Samarin for the Collins Cup, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was a great experience. I left the Collins Cup figuring I've got to make sure I do what I need to do to get back there. So hopefully this weekend is a big part of what I need to do for the rankings and everything for that.
And look at the Americans.
Yeah,
lately.
we're coming on.
Oh my God!
Yeah,
you got Sam Long, you got Jason West, you got some folks who are really making it look like the Americans could be a factor in that thing. Why
Rudy
not?
and Ben are in great.
Absolutely.
And Puff had a great race 2 weeks ago. So it'll be good.
When you look back on your career, besides that huge race where you got second to Gustav, what do you look at as some of your favorite memories?
I mean, it would be hard not to mention Texas in 18. That was a pretty special day. We had basically a foot race for 25 miles on the run. So that was the 3rd time winning North American title, which was fun.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And who were you racing with?
That was totally blanked. Guy from Russia.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
This is embarrassing. I can't
No,
remember. I'll
right.
remember as soon as this is over.
Yeah.
But he hasn't raced much
No,
since
he
that day.
yeah.
Yep.
You destroy the guy.
I don't know about that.
He's gone. He retired from the sport. I kicked my ass.
It's
I'm done.
tough to run a 2:35 and finish second, I guess.
Oh my God! So, and what'd you run that day?
2:34. Yep.
2:34 at the end, and it's one of those things where it came down to how close were you guys to finish?
Well, we ran neck and neck until about 25 and a half miles, and then I made what I thought was a big move. Looking at my Garmin file, it wasn't a big move, but it was, it was a little bump, but it was enough to get a little bit of separation. And then once the separation happened, it was
over.
Yeah.
It was over. And after this race, will you focus on what, U.S. Open?
Yep.
Canadian Open?
Yeah, if all goes as planned, I'll probably go to Chattanooga. I mean, QR's there.
Exactly.
And it's 70.3 North American Championships this year.
Yes.
So I'll go there and, have one final blowout, hopefully before a little bit of a break. Then build into the PTO Championships, Collins Cup, and Kona is the.
And you're already in for Kona?
I'm not. I've got to get that accomplished here. Yeah.
So you win here, and then you get your Kona spot.
Well, for the next 5 years, if they can give it the win. So.
Is that right?
Yeah, I think
you get
if we win, you get 5 years. Yeah. Yep.
I love that.
Yeah, it opens up the schedule a little bit.
And you're on a daily basis. How much of your time is your own training? How much goes to the other athletes?
Yeah, I mean, I usually wake up in the morning and sit in the Normatex and do some recovery, or while getting the blood flowing, I'm
you're
going
a
through training.
multitasker.
Yeah. Like to let the body wake up a little bit. I used to be able to roll out of bed and go straight to the pool. And I'm too old for that now. So, so do the little bit of coaching in the morning, then kind of get my training done. Try to get my training done by about 3 o'clock. Then I have time in, a couple hours before Ashley gets home, and then we take the dog for a walk, have some dinner, and chill out in the evening.
Do you have some of your athletes racing here?
Yeah, we have a couple, so it'll be good.
Have there been some athletes who reached out and said, listen, I want some coaching, and you look at their background, you look at their 50 pounds overweight, and you're like, oh my God. It's somebody who sort of surprised you with where they started and where they came? Yeah,
I mean, that's the most fun about, I obviously tend to have a little bit more of the elite level ones on my personal roster. But yeah, every now and then when you get to work with a beginner, it's a lot of fun to work with them because they can make so big of improvements early on, and to see that and be a part of that process that's a lot of fun as well. Plus it if you have kind of varying skill levels, it kind of reminds you, like when they ask you a question, it's like, oh yeah, I really need to just, you assume that everybody else already is thinking about that, but it kind of gives you that reminder, like, yeah, let's touch base on this and just make sure that basis is covered as well.
Well, and the other side of it is and I'm sure your coaches feel the same way, when somebody gets that first finish line, there's nothing better in the world.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. And that, that's whatever their finish line is, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter how fast they
exactly.
went, as they get there, and it makes you understand why this sport is so special.
Exactly.
Love it. Always a pleasure, Matt.
Thanks
so much
for having me back.
A pleasure. Matt Hanson has been our guest. Poncho Man, take us out.
Peaceful, easy feeling. I know you won't let me down, 'cause I'm already having breakfast with Bob. Cheers.
And Poncho Man. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Hold on. We'll be right back.